The buzzer. The most crucial part of American Ninja Warrior. Yeah, I'm kinda serious about this one. The buzzer sounds like a simple thing. Just a wet button that is pushed to signify the end of a course. Or a blue button. Or a gray one. Yeah, as simple as a fucking button at the end of the course is, it has changed a lot over the years. I'm going to go over every single incarnation of the buzzer, starting from the very beginning in Sasuke, to the very end in American Ninja Warrior Season 15. This might sound stupid, but it actually is some stuff I have to say about it, so let's get into it. Sasuke has gone through 3 different designs for the buzzer, but they were very minimal and definitely needed a design change each time they happened. Starting in Sasuke 1 up till Sasuke 11, the buzzer looked like this. It's kind of a large metal stand with a red button on top. This would remain to, like I said, for Sasuke 11, where in Sasuke 12, the buzzer was changed into a more current design, with just it being a pole with a small square on it with a flat button on it. This would later get enlarged to find around Sasuke 20, which is how the buzzer has looked ever since. It's a simple design, mostly because the buzzer was meant to do something different in Sasuke, just simply to simplify the end of the course. It ain't really much more than that, and Sasuke doesn't even really need to be either. That's probably why it was plastered on a stand and it felt very last minute in Sasuke 1, and they just didn't bother to change how it looked like until they felt like it, honestly. I am going to criticize ANW later for not having a button, but for Sasuke, I don't think it needs to have one. Again, the buzzer doesn't have as big of a purpose doesn't have as big as a role in Sasuke than in ANW, so it kind of evens out in that way. But, of course, we have to talk about American Ninja Warrior, where things start to get kinda stupid. Season 1 of American Ninja Warrior has a lot of things about it that are just like, what was the budget for this? Kind of thing, because there's a lot in Season 1 of American Ninja Warrior that's just primitive. But the buzzer of this season is no exception. The buzzer seen in both the qualifiers and semifinals of this course, which was, I guess, the same course, so it makes sense, was simply just a padded pillow with a red button on top. Very simple design that didn't really do its job. It was a button, plain and simple, not much else. Sorry for the picture being so bad. I tried to get good screenshots of these, but the pictures you see throughout the video are the best I could really get. Especially for the earlier seasons where pictures were not directly taken and easily viewable online. This is that being up till Season 5. So, yeah. The buzzer in AW1, I guess, didn't need to be much, but it could have at least been something. Enter American Ninja Warrior 2, where the buzzer changed quite significantly. Now, it actually is how it resembles, as how it had resembled for most of AW's 1. A silver pillow with a red button on top. In AW 2 and 3, this is what it looked like. Very simple design, but it worked. AW 4 had a very minimal change to the buzzer. As you can see, the button on the top had changed in forms. Not much of a difference. It still worked as a button, and you can still press it and stuff. And this is what I want to point out here. The button should be, a button. And as we will see, the idea of it being a button would completely disappear, to say the least. Moving on to Season 4, we have more to talk about than just the standard qualifying and semi-final courses. However, I'm not going to talk about those for a little bit. The Las Vegas finals will have their own separate section later on, but I'm going to focus on the qualifiers and semis. So, going on to So the next change is in Season 6, with the buzzer reverting back to the original style that was seen in ANW's 2 and 3, which will be the same, which is where the buzzer would stay until ANW 11. This design was probably my favorite. It worked quite well, actually. It was just a button. It was simple and to the point. It actually felt satisfying to push, and it wasn't entirely, and it was basic. It doesn't need to be super flashy, actually, or have any kind of special thing in it. However, ANW thought, no, it kind of does. So we got this design in Season 12, what I call the bubble design. Basically the normal buzzer, but in addition to now having red and blue streaks on it, it also has kind of just a bulb-shaped part that acts as a holder for the camera inside. Right. Yeah, this thing was useless and I always hated the angle it made whenever they showed it. This was an unnecessary addition that made the buzzer less satisfying to push, to the point to where there was even a point to where Adam Whale broke this buzzer because it wasn't that durable. Good work, guys. Just good work. And also, yeah, the idea of it being a button isn't there anymore. You don't really notice. It is a button to be fair, but it doesn't feel like one. You're pressing a bulb, not a button. This same buzzer would be used in ANW 13. ANW 14 would see a color change. Basically, this buzzer would become a little bit more flashy, let's say, with blue LED lights plastered all over the damn thing, with the same bulb-like design still being there. Still not appealing, and feels even worse. Then finally, we move on to Season 15, where the buzzer is now made flat, back to a more flat design. The idea of it being a button is completely gone, and now it's just silver with blue LEDs. This literally... So now it's overly flashy, overly simple, and it isn't even its purpose because it ain't a button anymore. Good work, guys. Good work. Yeah, this just sounds like the most simplest thing for them to even make, but yet they fuck it up. But I am forgetting a couple other buzzers from the qualifying and semis round. First off, the Mega Wall. The Mega Wall was introduced in Season 10. And had a buzzer like this. This was a very flashy buzzer, similar to the one that would appear a couple years later on the basic. As the basic buzzer, this one was overly flashy, flat, and silver from the start. And then when you hit it, it glowed green. Yeah, it was overly flashy. Admittedly enough, I don't mind this for the Mega Wall, but could have at least had a button on top? I don't know, make it blue. Make a blue button on top. How hard is it to make an actual button instead of a flat plate that you put your hand on? And I did just mention this is overly flashy. I don't really think it needed to be this, even for the Mega Wall. Honestly, I don't think I would have cared if it was a normal buzzer at the top of the Mega Wall. Oh, maybe it would not have seemed special, but you got up an 18-foot Mega Wall and getting 10G. What more special do you really need out of it? But enter the Las Vegas Finals, where things do start to come into a head. In Season 4, the buzzer seen at the end of Stages 1 and 2 was exactly the same as the one seen in the qualifiers and semis, so there's nothing new to really cover there. But one thing to note is the distance between Stage 1's platform and where the buzzer was located. It's at least a couple of feet from Seasons 4 to 9. This way, if you caught into the platform, you were done. And you timed out, well, you weren't making it to that buzzer. This maybe seemed insignificant, but it stopped many people in their tracks, as if the buzzer was where it is now, right in front of the fucking platform, people like Shane Daniels and Kate Sinclair from ANW 1 and 2 would have moved on to Stage 3, Stage 2, and many others seen in Vegas as well. The idea of being able to dive towards the buzzer in the nick of time was completely gone, and people like Adam Whale in Season 10 would have completely timed out if this were the case. Now it's just next to the platform, and as of ANW 13, the buzzer was as it was changed into the version seen on ANW 12's qualifier course. Then in season 15, the thing was, okay, now really plastered. Because the buzzer on this course was kind of small, they just put some red blocks below it. Now it just seems really out of place. Like, they really could not have made a bigger buzzer. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the exact same buzzer, and I mean the exact same buzzer, like build and everything from the qualifier course. The size looks identical, which would explain why they need these red blocks to prop it up so that way it isn't super small. It's also off-angled, which shows that this design was clearly not meant for stage 1. But this still made an impact on the course, as again, it caused a lot of competitors who would have timed out to not time out. And yeah, the whole not a button thing and it being way too flashy was also a problem as well. Stage 2 went through a very similar transformation. Stage 2, in the early years, ended with the obstacle, the wall lift, which ended with the buzzer with some doors at the end. Speaking of the doors, yeah, they ain't there either. Las Vegas used to have so much flair to it. Metal doors at the beginning of stages 1 and 2. Stage 2 is filmed over one giant pool. Stage 2 is intimidating because of this, but you notice something iconic to Stage 2 that isn't in anymore? The fire! Yeah, until ANW13 there was fucking fire that could bust out of us off the side of the courses, making Stage 2 feel just the more grand. And to be fair, this was something that could even happen on the early Vegas courses too, as Season 4 did have this. But as of Season 15, they either completely forgot or didn't have the money for it because it's completely gone. Stage 2 loses its grandiose approach with the lack of the metal doors, the one-up it had the fire, and the fact that the buzzer isn't a straight-up one to the finish. I know in my Stage 2 retrospective video, I commented on how I love the falling shelves as an obstacle. Let's go for the fact that you could fail it. But I will say that, but the wall lift did have a rhythm to it. And they worked for the end of Stage 2. Stage 2 was supposed to be speed base. Aid base. I know many people don't see it that way because ANW hasn't seen it that way in fucking years, but it is that way. Stage 2 is a speed course. The wall lift was there for that reason. There's no reason to dive for the buzzer after you're done, which definitely ruined some flair. As always, in Season 13, the buzzer was changed to the standard bowl format, and of course at the end of Stage 2, there it is. It's the same buzzer used throughout the rest of the season in Season 15, 2 of them in fact, just being red and blue. Yeah, Stage 2 was a waste in ANW 15 and it was stupid. Moving on. Stage 3 is the odd one out, as it used to not have a buzzer. Stage 3, famously on Sasuke, and even today in fact, Stage 3 has never had a buzzer where it was, which always seemed odd to me. I always thought it should have had a buzzer, but it did not. In Sasuke, you kind of just walked across the finish line and then boom, some smoke exploded. Or even today, it's like this, which isn't really much of a problem. ANW ANW are the people who said, hey, Stage 3 is special. Let's make it flashy. Yeah, so let's get back to basics. ANW 6 through 10 did have a buzzer at the end of Stage 3 during the USA vs. the World and All-Star competitions. This was a simple buzzer with a simple door placo mechanism placed. Though the door placo was only seen in ANW 6. I kind of wish it was here for the normal competitions as well. For ANW, I kind of wish there was a buzzer at the end of Stage 3. However, we don't need the Mega Wall buzzer here. Season 11 saw the addition of the Season 10 Mega Wall buzzer at the end of Stage 3, which was, as always, flashy, big, blue, and totally fucking flat. Still a problem, and I will still complain about it. This thing doesn't need to be here. Can it be a normal buzzer or not be there, period? Pick one. Don't pick this. It doesn't need to be here. Finally, we got Stage 4, Mount Midoriyama. On Sasuke, Mount Midoriyama has had the same buzzer the last couple of years. Just a square plaque towards the end of the plaque. close to where you pop up from the hole, but not exactly above it. You have to climb up just a bit in order to actually hit it, which stopped Makoto Nagano from winning a total of twice, and Yusuke Morimoto also a grand total of twice. And ANW used to have this idea. From seasons 4 to 10, this was the mentality. The buzzer at the end of stage 4 was just a very small button that was a bit high, but you had to climb up from your thing, from the hole in order to grab it. Jet Whitten almost timed out because the buzzer was like this. In season 11 though, yeah, the buzzer turned flashy again. A smaller design of the stage 3 buzzer seen in there was added. It's once again blue, silver, flat, and overly flashy. It's also angled, so that way if you just get close to it, you can hit it. I think Josh Levin famously showed how this buzzer was not satisfying to hit when he hit it and it just kind of just exploded. It didn't really feel like much in the grand scheme of things. But it just meant that you didn't need to put that extra effort in order to win. Thankfully, this hasn't impacted anyone who would have timed out otherwise, but it definitely might. Point is that the buzzer being like this kind of wins some of the difficulty of stage 4. And all of the stages, in fact. Vegas saw an interesting issue with the buzzer. It moved positions, causing the stage to either have less flair or made it easier. Kind of Vegas in a nutshell, anyway. This is definitely a separate topic. In fact, it would probably fit right into my National Finals retrospective, so don't be surprised if I make a video about it, and it's attached to that retrospective. But Vegas as a whole has become less flashy and less glam. Even if it still kind of feels the same way, there are definitely elements of it that have definitely been removed. Aesthetically speaking, metal doors, simple buzzers, them being in the right spots, stairs, runways, it's all not here anymore, which kinda sucks. You can't have this B-roll of a competitor running up to stage 2 anymore, them coming through the metal doors. As simple as this sounds, it is losing part of what made all 4 stages of Las Vegas so grand. Stage 4 didn't really have these, to be completely fair, but even then, the buzzer being angled still made it easier. So, yeah, that's the buzzer on American Ninja Warrior, and the history of it. I know it sounds like a dumb idea, but that's why I made an April Fool's Day joke. But seriously, I've had this idea for a while. I was just waiting for April Fool's Day so that way I can make it happen and then make a joke for you guys. And yes, I treated this completely seriously because this is a problem, it's just not as major, I don't think. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.